I'm doing the Chinese American history videos for actually UCLA Asian American Studies Center, and the project came about because of our one of our patrons who's actually passed away now, Stanley Lau, and so the project is actually called the Stanley Lau Chinese American History Documentary Project, or as he called it, mini docs. He really he found YouTube and he started watching a bunch of documentaries on YouTube, and YouTube has a lot of short documentaries, so he thought, and then he found out about ethnic communications, and he thought, oh, it kind of goes along with already the work that Ethno does. So we got together with him and the former director of Asian American Studies Center and now Vice Provost David Yo, and we talked with him about his idea, and he just really wanted to feature Chinese American stories, and by exploring the history of Chinese Americans in Los Angeles and kind of the surrounding areas. So we started with the Chinese herbalists, because his father was actually an herbalist who came from China, and I thought that was a great one to start with, because it's Western medicine has always kind of been prevalent here, but I think Eastern medicine and everything kind of related to Eastern medicine has become popular in the last few years. So everyone I talk to has done something related to either meditation, yoga, even Chinese medicine, acupuncture. So we kind of set out that as our first film in the series, and he originally, Mr. Lau didn't want to be in the film because he just didn't feel like he needed to be in it. I think he wanted us to explore other Chinese Americans, but the more I think we looked into the herbalists, and I actually met with several Chinese herbalists in the San Gabriel Valley area, and also different parts of LA. The more that we kind of talked to folks, I think we realized that really the story was within him and his connection with his father. So we kind of turned, we flipped the story to him midway through, and his father is not around anymore, and but I think by hearing his family story, his father's story, and how he carried over his studies of Chinese medicine over to the States when they immigrated here, was really important to who he had become as an adult in his career as a chemist. So I think that's why we decided to actually do his story. And the great thing about this project is I can involve the students. Some of the students from our class, from the ethno classes, were able to work on the films. So one of them who worked on the film, we decided to have them be on camera with Mr. Lau, because they had a good rapport, and Emery Johnson is their name, and also Emery spoke a little Mandarin, and being in that community, it's always helpful to speak some Chinese, either Mandarin, Cantonese, and I also speak Mandarin as well. So we just kind of set out and went to, and the most interesting thing was I found out that Mr. Lau had never been to a Chinese herbalist doctor since his father. So we kind of decided to, I asked him how he felt about that, and he was okay to go, and so away we went to visit the herbalist. So that's kind of where our story with him begins, and and then exploring the history through his father and their relationship. And